I was ready to take a nap. I did my Nintendo Direct review. I woke up super early. I watched the show. I soaked it all up. I need water and a pillow. But this is burning a hole in my brain, and I have to talk to you about it because Nintendo is price gouging the heck out of you in 2024, and frankly, we should all be pissed off. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. I cannot ignore this. As I was doing my Nintendo Direct review video, I started thinking about these games. And this isn't about quality. I don't care whether you gave this Direct an A or an F, but I went to Nintendo's website and I looked up what they're charging for what they announced. And it's freaking inconsistent, inconsiderate, and ugly. Nintendo has chosen violence for the final year of Switch because they're going to take advantage of all the fans that are eager for a new system and that are tied to their nostalgia and that want their games. They had an opportunity to be consistent and cool, and they about-faced. And what makes it worse is that this is inconsistent. There was a flip. There was a definitive switch from what they did early in 2023 to what they're about to do early in 2024. Let me know if you agree. Maybe I'm crazy, but I really don't feel like it. I really feel like this is nasty. We sold 130 million Switches for them, made them Scrooge McDuck pools worth of money, and they're going to do us dirty. Let me set this up for you because I think the more you look into it and the more you think about it, the worse it gets. Metroid Prime Remastered launches, Shadow dropped in February for $39.99. That's a GameCube game for $40. Okay, maybe a bit pricey, but they're remastering everything. The visuals look fantastic. It's one of the best graphical games on Switch, and it's a downright amazing classic. Pikmin 1 comes out for $30 without being remastered. Okay, it's $10 less, but it's not remastered. Mario vs. Donkey Kong is $50 freaking dollars. Mario vs. Donkey Kong is $50. That's $20 more than you would have paid on GBA. And the worst part is, they could have just released Mario vs. DK on NSO. Now, GameCube has a bit of a mystique to it because there's no way to release that classically. So they have to charge more for it, or at least they feel like they do, because it's a separate release. I mean, Pikmin 1 plus 2 is getting a physical launch for $50. Mario vs. DK, though. Mario vs. DK is a remake, a remaster of the GBA game with updated visuals and co-op included for $50. Now, you might think, at first blush, Nintendo's being nice. They've been doing a lot of $50 games lately. WarioWare is $50. This is coming in at $50 in February. But that's $20 more than they charge on GBA for a game that's 20 years old. And instead of releasing it on Nintendo Switch Online for $0, they're going to charge $50 for it. $50, and DK can't even get its own game. DK can't even get its own game, and we're getting the remake of the most basic first Mario vs. Donkey Kong that retailed for double digits less. Now, you might remember that Nintendo has done this with DK before. Tropical Freeze was $50 on Wii U and $60 on Switch, but that was a relatively new game, or at least much newer. They added Funky Kong in there. It is ridiculous. The Switch tax is something that I thought we were away from, but it's back in full force, and you better believe Luigi's Mansion 2 is going to do it as well. Luigi's Mansion 2 will be lucky if that HD port is $50, but I feel like it's going to be $60. See, Nintendo doesn't really have rhyme or reason to this, and it's evidenced by how they treat their GameCube remasters. Metroid Prime Remastered is the most effort-packed GameCube release, and it's $40. Pikmin 1 is $30 with not much effort. Pikmin 2 is $30 with not much effort, but Paper Mario. It's got Mario in the title, baby. Not Metroid, not Pikmin, Mario. So for Mario Thousand Year Door, 20 years old, they're gonna say, hey, this is a tentpole release. Whereas with Metroid Prime Remastered, it was a shadow drop. Whereas with Pikmin 1 plus 2, it was a shadow drop. Paper Mario Thousand Year Door gets the closing slot. The closing slot. That means it's big gun time. You're telling me they're gonna charge $30 for this? Or $40 for this? No way. No way. Now, you can argue if this is a remake or a remaster or an HD. Those terms, do they even have a set definition? Paper Mario is going to be a $60 game. And that's where I just lost it. Because Metroid Prime Remastered has tons of effort and is brilliant for $40. Pikmin didn't do anything, it's $10 less at $30, feels a little too close for comfort. Mario vs. Donkey Kong could be released for free and it's $50, but then Paper Mario is going to be a full price tentpole release in 2024 because it is Mario. Because it is Mario, they're going to get $60 from you, and I don't know how much new content is going to be added. Mario RPG is $60, but that is a full-on graphical overhaul from a game that came out eons ago, adding less than I'd like. Adds like a boss rush thing post-game, adds more of a timing mechanic and a triple move meter, adds some nice cutscenes, but that to me, like, they really had to go in and do work, kind of like Metroid Prime Remastered. Now, could it be 40? Could it be 50? It's Mario, so I understand. But the difference here is that Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door, despite being highly anticipated, does not look like it has undergone a massive change. It looks like it's a tidied up version. And so we have all this strange inconsistency. We have Luigi's Mansion 2, which looks worse than Luigi's Mansion 3, despite it coming out 5 years later. We have Mario vs. Donkey Kong, a Game Boy Advance game that could have opted for a free Switch Online release when, oh, by the way, they gave us nothing new for Switch Online, no new pipeline, no new schedule, nothing. We are going to be paying $50 for Mario vs. DK. We are going to be paying $50 or $60 for Luigi's Mansion. We're going to be paying $60, I bet you, for Paper Mario. And oh, by the way, $60 for another code, but at least that's 2 games. One's a Wii game, one's a DS game. If we valued 2 Pikmin games at $25 each for $50, I understand valuing a Wii game and a DS game for $60. Okay, still feels like a lot based on those titles, but okay, it's 2 games. So we're talking $30 a pop. Mario vs. DK costs less at launch and is more. It's less because it's $50, but it's more because it's 1 game. And this just screams, soak them. Take advantage of them. I understand that games are relatively cheap inflation-wise. I understand that developing a video game is hard work, takes a lot. But in a year where Nintendo obviously, forwardly, confirmed is coasting with a ton of rehashes and smaller titles as they wait to charge us hundreds for their new system, and they will want us to buy that, as well as plenty of new games that could house a $70 price point, given they'll be touted as 4K titles. This feels inconsistent. And to me, it's not Nintendo charging $70 for Tears of the Kingdom, a massive, huge game that feels in line with new releases from other platforms. It's Nintendo willy-nilly changing the price of already established patterns because they know they can. How did we start at $40 for GameCube remasters, really well done with amazing graphics, and pretty soon we're going to be up to $50 for Game Boy Advance remasters and $60 for GameCube remasters. We're seeing a 33% price hike in a year for no good reason. Oh, and by the way, one was shadow dropped. The other, though, is valued as a huge tentpole title specifically because it says M-A-R-I-O instead of M-E-T-R-O-I-D. Oddly, there's a lot of the same letters in there, but it doesn't add up to the same price. I can't decide if Paper Mario is more offensive or Mario vs. Donkey Kong. I lean Mario vs. Donkey Kong because I can't believe DK has not gotten a new game on Switch. I can't believe we got Tropical Freeze with a Switch tax, and now we're getting Mario vs. DK with a Switch tax, and we get nothing new for Donkey Kong. Hurts, man. But Paper Mario being inconsistent in terms of shadow drop versus tentpole and $40 versus, like, you just know that's going to be $60. There's no way they come out and say Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door is $40. I just feel like there's no rhyme or reason except that they can. And with Zelda, I know that it also was because they can, but I acquit them there because Tears of the Kingdom is a full-blown, huge new game that is trying mega new ideas and being creative, curious, and insane in many ways as well. Mario vs. Donkey Kong is a retread. It's not insane. And Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, not to throw shade at what is an awesome title and is mega anticipated by fans, but they're capitalizing on it. They're capitalizing on the fact that they know you are mega anticipating this one. Maybe you weren't mega anticipating Metroid Prime Remastered. Maybe they were testing the waters. Maybe they know Metroid Prime is a few million seller and Mario is a 10 million seller. Maybe they know that they can't get away with Samus Aran shaking her booty for 50 or 60, but they sure can get away with Goombrella getting in there and shaking her hat for a total full price title. I don't appreciate the inconsistencies. I love Nintendo. I love the Switch. I thought this Direct stunk, but I'm not talking about the quality of the games. Mario vs. DK is a solid product. Luigi's Mansion 2 is a fun game. Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door is downright classic. But we cannot do this inconsistency thing. It feels wrong, it feels slimy, and it feels predatory in many ways. And I don't feel bad saying that. It's not me hating on Nintendo, it's me speaking freely about the fact that this is not right, and this is mainly not consistent. $40 in February becomes $60 summer 2024. It's crazy inflation if you ask me. And I already felt a little wiggly about Pikmin 1 and 2 being $50 when they're not dolled up in the way that Metroid Prime Remastered is. But it's two games. They were also shadow dropped. I'll give it to them. GameCube sure as heck ain't coming to Switch Online anytime soon, any year soon, when they can milk us like this. And why is Mario vs. DK not on GBA? I don't know. Yes, it's got very pretty graphics. But wouldn't you have rather Mario vs. DK been a GBA Switch Online free release and Nintendo charged you $60 for a brand new DK? No. Instead, they're going to charge you $50 for an old DK and not even give you a new DK. It just seems like poor decision making and money-centric bottom line get us in the black. Executives overpowering what gamers deserve. And I do feel a type of way that we helped make Nintendo so successful this generation, and it feels like they are moving towards a much more gimme, me style when it's the final year, and really I feel like we should be freebieing it up. I feel like we should be offering some Nintendo Switch early releases as freebies, like they do on Game Pass or PlayStation Plus. I feel like we should be just filling the piles of GBA and N64 games. Instead, we have no schedule. I feel like they should be offering Mario vs. Donkey Kong as an eShop experience for the same launch price as it was on GBA. Why are we charging more? We're not making it free. We're not making it good. We're not making it budget. We're making it $50, which to them is a budget, but it's not a budget when you consider the factor of the budget of the last GameCube release. I feel like it's just ugly. I feel like you got an ugly Direct, which could be like fan servicey in a way, and could be like, okay, it's just the end of the generation. But I feel like they're taking advantage of it. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And to me, it's the inconsistency that speaks the largest crime. It speaks that they know what they're doing. It speaks that they saw that they could do more than they did. And rather than keeping along with a good price that elicited great Shadow Drop Day sales, they said, we can amp these up just a little more. We doll them up and tentpole them up in our Nintendo Direct reveal trailers. We don't have to do a ton to the game, but we can charge much more. You can't tell me that's not the mindset here. We got Mario making it much more money. And I understand he had $1 billion movie, but man, he had $1 billion movie. And you got me paying nearly double for a GBA game you could have released for free. And you've inflated the price of a GameCube remaster by 33% in less than a year. What the freaking heck, Nintendo? You're better than that. Let me know your take in the comments down below, everybody. Do you agree with me? It's going to be an expensive 2024. You got a new console to buy and a lot of overpriced remasters. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Had to be said. SwitchForce out.